So I think I was going to ask you how your weekend was going. Did you finish the show I asked you to watch?
What show?
I asked you to watch Santa Inc. Did you finish it?
I had an aneurysm and I fell asleep twice.
You did? So you actually made it farther than me.
I finished the whole day.
Do you want to start with that, or would you like to start with something fantastic today?
Well, since we're already talking about Santa Inc., let's just talk about that before I forget and like have a rage fit.
Okay, so then what we're going to do here is we're going to talk about possibly not the worst show ever, if it's not, but
it's rated 1% rotten.
I think it might be the worst show ever.
Mm-hmm.
What would you have given it as a grade?
Just a 0. Don't watch it. It's terrible. Unless you like terrible feminist writing.
It's not even just feminism. It's kind of just all bad.
I was offended, like, because like is Sarah Silverman, is she really Jewish in real life?
Yes.
That is so offensive to Jewish people.
Seth Rogan is too. It is what it is. You know, the whole thing is very offensive. But we've got a couple of there's an article up here that I thought was really funny because even the what would you call it, the mainstream media that tends to lay down cover for when things go wrong in Hollywood, even this is Variety, and I get some articles from them at times, but this article wasn't able to like save this show. So
because it's just terrible.
Yeah, let's talk about the article and then we're gonna talk. I literally, it's so bad. I made a list of like all the stuff that I hated about it, and I hate to do that because I don't hate watch things. I do. You see, Miracle likes to hate watch stuff. I don't do that. Like, if I don't like something, I just turn it off. Life is too short. I don't want to be angry about something that I could just as soon as walk away from.
Well,
right?
what was that one show that I really hated? Oh, Hawkeye. I really hate it.
I don't hate it. Like, I've now watched all 3 episodes, and I watched the last 2 multiple times, and I'm liking it more every single time, which goes against this narrative that everybody's like, oh, it's so bad. And I don't really think it's all that awful, but that's the beauty of subjective art. But this article, this is about Santa Inc. from Variety, and it says, Seth Rogen and Sarah Silverman can't save Santa Inc. from misguided raunchiness. It's a TV review. It says, Christmas is big business for TV. The content mill of light romantic comedies set around the holidays and celebrity-driven specials has come to make December feel, at moments, like a forced march of glee. In all, though, Christmas entertainment of the Hallmark movie variety seems to be intended to bring a smile to the face and lighten the mood. A lovely thing, if saccharine when taken to extremes. They're absolutely right about that. Like, holiday movies are extremely manipulative.
They are.
The way they're written.
But I hate this movie because, like, her whole, what's the character's name? Oh, Candy. Her name is Candy. So basically her whole goal is to be the first female Santa, but she doesn't even like kids. Sorry if this is a spoiler alert, but it is.
Yeah, and we're gonna I mean, that's not even really a spoiler, but this is a spoiler alert for Santa Inc. My initial review before you have to get any further is just don't watch it. It's that bad.
It's really bad. Like, I don't get it.
That's very difficult for me to give reviews like that. Like, I'm not that type of person, but this is, they don't feel like human beings. They feel like Twitter avatars talking to one another, and every single character is awful.
Yeah. No, the only character I can tolerate is the baby with scissors.
I only made it to episode, and that's
because it's later.
I made it to episode 3, and I had to turn it off. It had every form of awful social commentary and form of activism that's masquerading as jokes, and it's like in the first episode it was the jokes about the mom hating having kids. I hated that about what was her friend's name? Not Candy's friend. I can't remember that character's name, but there's a character that has kids and hates having kids.
Oh, Cookie. Her name is Cookie.
So
she's literally a gingerbread woman, and her name is Cookie. Yep. And she like audible cannibalize herself.
Yes. Everybody's a stereotype. Santa Claus, all the men are what is the term? Kind of not just douchey, but like potential like
they're alpha male.
No, they're not. They're just awful human beings that are acting like pieces of shit to each other. And every time they don't talk like people, they talk like stereotypes. And it's not, I don't know who it's for. That's my question. Who was this made for?
I don't know, but if you look on IMDb, basically they got a 1.1 out of 10.
Yep. And
that's terrible.
And Rotten Tomatoes has it at 3 out of 100.
Oh, it went up?
It's at 3 out of 100, and there aren't even enough critic reviews to actually list for the show, and nobody wants to touch this, the show with the 10-foot pole. And that's why I have to ask, who at the pitch meeting was like, this is a fantastic idea?
It's just terrible. I hate it. And like the voice actor, his name is Craig Robertson. He plays as Junior, so Rudolph's son. I like him as an actor.
I don't know him.
Oh, he was in Hot Tub Time Machine.
Okay, so a lot of the same people. Was that a Seth Rogen movie?
Yeah.
Like the thing about this movie is it's all commentary. There's jokes about what was it? Abortion jokes. That's freaking awful. There's a joke about vaccines in like the first 5 minutes. This stuff doesn't matter. Like all of it comes off as preachy and pedantic and super. In the raunchy stuff, it's mean-spirited. It's like they don't realize that they're not intelligent enough to be South Park.
Well, also there's a plot point where like one of the characters, I forgot what his name is. He's like the dumb blonde, but he becomes the new Santa. Another spoiler alert, but
we already gave the spoiler alert. And don't watch this show anyway, even if you're planning to.
But basically, he becomes the new Santa. But he told Santa, like he walked up to Santa and said, "Oh, I made a bracelet out of your beer hair."
Yeah.
And like they said that, and then like later in the episode, they found out who sold the beer hair, but they didn't explain why.
So it's just bad writing. So
it's just bad writing. She just said, "I just felt like I wanted excitement," and I'm like, "Okay, selling your husband's beer hair." Is excitement to you? The
first time I turned it off was literally a scene where they show Santa Claus getting acts.
Yeah.
Can we say that? Sexual acts from Mrs. Claus from a claymation cartoon. And like it's raunchiness for the sake of raunchiness, but there's no intelligence in any of the writing.
Well, they could have done it how South Park and Big Mouth did it. If they want to do like raunchy acts like that.
I don't even support the Big Mouth. That
Big Mouth, like the newest season, I thought it was terrible. That was a terrible writing. Like the first season, I really loved it because I thought it was funny. But then after that, the writing went downhill.
The one compliment I could give this show is they managed, unless I missed it, they managed to make it all the way till episode 3 without making like a joke about Donald Trump, which, Hollywood being what it is.
Yeah,
they make Easter great again. Just awful. Just truly some of the worst writing I've ever seen in my entire life.
No way. I actually like this comedian. His name is Joe Kim Booster. He was one of the voices of one of the elves. I actually like his jokes because he was adopted. And he talks about like about his sexuality and being adopted. He's actually Korean, but he was raised in the South.
And is that talked about in the show?
No.
Okay.
No, but they made him
an actor.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they made him into a stereotypical gay guy, and it made me mad.
Yeah. It's all stereotypes.
Yeah.
Everything in this show is a stereotype. All the old white men are stereotypical of the old idea of the old boys club.
Yeah.
All the women are overtly over emotional, and they're all cardboard cutouts of what you imagine some.
Yeah.
I would like to think that they were making fun of themselves. The part where they talk about Santa being obsessed with firsts, like he names the first black successor to Santa Claus, and then he wants to make the first Candy the first Jewish successor or Jewish female. Like I would like to think that they were smart enough to be like making fun of the fact that Hollywood loves to talk about stuff like that all the time, but I don't think they do. I think they're just bad at their job.
This whole show like made me so upset how they wrote it, because like if it had better writing, it could have been a good show. But it was a terrible show. I fell asleep twice. That's bad.
See, that's actually amazing to me, because I don't think I could fall asleep being that angry watching such
No,
awful...
that's what my boyfriend did. Like when we first watched it, he fell asleep before me. Like he said, legit, I felt my brain swell up and it just knocked me out.
There was the joke about capitalism on the sleigh. That I was just like, it's like nobody talks like this in the real world. They're Twitter avatars talking as people. When they got to drugging reindeer with meth, I lost it. I was like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. This whole show is so terrible. It just made me mad, and I legit wanted the main character to die.
Like
I wanted her to die.
I'm being very like even keel right now. Like normally I'd be yelling and swearing.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of like I don't want to talk about the politics of it. I don't care about that. I care about the fact that it's just really awful writing made by mean-spirited people.
That's true. Like the whole character, Candy herself, she's mean-spirited. She wanted to be Santa, but then like she got upset when Santa didn't choose her, and Santa gave her a good reason. He said, "It's because you don't like kids." The whole job is to be with kids. That's the whole part of being Santa. And you can't be Santa because you don't like being around kids. And she said, F you, Santa. And she walks away. And I'm like, no, that's like a complete good reason. And he gave you a better job opportunity. He said, even though you can't be the face of Santa, you can be his right-hand man and make all the calls.
Yep.
Does that sound like a good deal? And she said no.
Nope.
So I was like, you're dumb.
Yep. Well, plus that would carry some weight if the character of Santa wasn't awful. If
That's
he wasn't
true.
a horrible human being that has no redeeming qualities. Who is supposed to watch this and get excited about the holidays? Like, it would be one thing if one character, one or two characters were like this. We're like, and then it kind of breaks up a normal story, a normal comedy with raunchy, over the top, super preachy activism, masquerading as humor.
Yeah.
Like if one or two characters was like that, that might make sense. But it doesn't make sense when everybody acts and talks the exact same. They all talk and speak like they're being written by the same person.
Yeah, like one of the reindeer characters, her name is Goldie, the female one. Okay, I don't like her, but she does have like some reasoning too, but also I just don't like her character. I don't like her character. I don't like Cookie. Cookie's so
Cookie might be the worst.
She
at least
is.
as far as the most like stereotypical and super anti-marriage. Super like the characters like they talk about her being she feels trapped in her marriage and she like hates her kids. Like she says a thing which says don't have kids.
Yeah,
like who is this for?
She only has one kid and she's complaining about it. But her kid actually made the show funny. Like it was around episode 8 and like her husband didn't want to babysit the kid, so they hired a babysitter and she warned the babysitter like make sure the son doesn't have the son is named Fun Size, which is a funny name.
That's actually kind of cool name.
Yeah, so she said make sure Fun Size doesn't get the scissors because he gets stabby. And then like they cut to a scene where like the baby's chasing after the babysitter with scissors, and I was like that actually saved the show.
So like
that was the only favorite scene I had.
There's nothing redeeming about the show. And this goes beyond the fact that Seth Rogen is just kind of acting like a piece of crap on social media.
Yeah, he
not
said
realize
you have to like it.
Like we don't need to talk about it. We don't need to give him the airtime. I just know that he's making Darkwing Duck, and that worries me.
Wait. The remake?
Yep, he's doing the remake for Darkwing Duck.
No!
So everyone who knows that, if you loved Darkwing Duck, you should be extremely terrified by that.
No, I actually like it. So on YouTube, you can find it on Disney XD or Disney XD, their YouTube channel. There's like one free pilot that you can watch of Darkwing Duck, and it's really good. They had it during like DuckTales when it was still airing, but then DuckTales only had 2 seasons. I really like that reboot.
Well, it's about to go down the drain because if he's doing it, I have no faith that any of that will actually come out good. So,
well, oh my god, that upsets me now because I actually was excited for the reboot of Darkwing Duck because like the pilot that they had on YouTube was really good. It had really good writing.
It's well, that's not going to happen with the new product. So. Now that we've gotten through the bad, the very, very, and the funny thing is that whole thing here doesn't do how bad it is justice.
Nope.
Like everything we just described here makes it sound like just kind of like crappy television. It's not. I think it might be partially because we know that Seth Rogen and Sarah Silverman are kind of like really, really annoying. So we're putting something on top of it that maybe
Well, for me, I completely I knew that they were in the show, but I gave it a benefit of doubt and like forgot that they were in it. But like when I was pointing out which character is which, I was like, okay, I get it. But even if like you forget who's voicing what, it's still annoying.
Yep,
it is very annoying and it's awful. You shouldn't watch it. I don't recommend it. HBO Max, please stop recommending it. That's terrible.
Yeah. I felt like I don't want to give them any more. I don't want to click on this episode and give them like stats that show that I clicked on it that makes people want more. It's awful.
I know. Like you told me I don't have to watch the whole thing and I was like, I'm going to. I legit had a brain aneurysm.
As far as I'm concerned, if you're a creator and if you can't redeem yourself by episode 3, you shouldn't, I'm not going to watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
If you can't make a redeeming episode by episode 3, I'm not going to do it.